Welcome to RCR New Zealand. We are hosted by Camshaft Software, makers of Automation, a video game for every gearhead who said, I could make a better car company. Well, this is your chance to put up or shut up. From cam profiles to fleet marketing, you do it all. And thanks to them, regular car reviews made it to New Zealand, the planet's bonus track. Sweet as.
What do you call it when a Nissan Micra cuts you off the road? A microaggression.
Ah, New Zealand. I flew all the way to your country to drive a Nissan Micra. The Nissan Micra is exactly as janky as it looks. This is the car that will usher you through the best of your ganja period. Because Josh is back from Amsterdam, and he snuck a kilo of Aston Kutcher through AKL. Dude, how'd he do that? Dude, it's Josh. And Kiwi Burn this year is gonna be legendary. Introduced to Japan in October 1982 as a challenger to the Honda City and Toyota Starlet, the Nissan Micra was intended to replace the Nissan Cherry as the company's flagship Super Mini. Because the Cherry was getting too big. You see, Super Mini is a B-segment car classification by the European Commission, and with the Cherry getting bigger with each generation, Nissan had to think outside the box, or in this case, create a whole new box. So this is what they came up with. An everyman beater running on a 1.4-liter, 4-cylinder Nissan CR engine that's dual overhead cam with 16 valves. And the power goes through a 4-speed automatic transmission with a front-wheel drive layout. And you could also get it with optional 4-wheel drive, but Nick, the owner, didn't really go for the option. And why would you? This isn't a car that needs to be anything more than what it already is. It's cheap to run, getting around 550 kilometers on one tank, thanks to the high-gearing, low-weight engine, which allowed for greater miles per gallon, or KPL, or countries. As for its design, the third-generation Nissan Micra offers a longer 70mm wheelbase, headlamps that reach the wing tops, and improved engine options such as the 1.2 CR12D3, 1.4-liter CR1.4DE, and the Renault-derived 1.5-liter diesel, which is designated the K9K. This is a first-generation Dodge Neon in execution. Think about it. Smaller, yes, but the same marketing and engineering. A commuter, built to be cheap with gender-fluid styling and more valves than necessary for a daily. Plastic abounds, but it's curved and toyish, which means no matter how much sand is in the cup holders, or clutter is on the floor, or oil cans thumping around the rear, it's still a pleasing object to behold. It's not a challenging drive. It breaks loose way in the low speeds, which is good for me because I'm still learning how to drive here. Its handling is as straightforward as a Super Nintendo controller. There really isn't anything to learn. It's about as uncomplicated as a Land O'Lakes hand job. Yeah, the check engine light is constantly on, but nothing's wrong with it. It's just been through the ringer. Look at it. It's got 245,000 kilometers. The body style was originally designed for Fiat to replace the 127, but they passed on the design. And your average set of Yankee eyes would be fooled if you pried off this Nissan badge and glued a Fiat one on. And if you went around to the back and swapped Micra for $500. Hey Beth, looka! That's the new Fiat! That looks cute, ain't? And the Fiat 500 sold great in the United States, so why didn't Nissan market the Micra in some US markets? I think they were trying to protect the Nissan Versa. There's this line you get in the United States, and you'll hear it if you talk to enough dads around here, and the line goes like this. You get a lot of car for your money. That just means the car is big. Like, it always goes on with, like, the Panther bodies and stuff. Like, J bodies and crap. Yes, it's a physically large car, and you are buying a lot of metal for your $1,500 that you spent. But that thinking extends to new cars as well. Because if you sold the Micra in the US, it would be about the same price as a Versa, so why have a Micra? People who buy Super Minis buy them because they want that specific car, not because they're forced into driving a Super Mini through geographical or economic constraints. The only way around that is to be cute and be funky and fun and trendy. And that's what the Fiat 500 did, and that's what the Mini Cooper did. The Nissan Versa tried to do that To an extent, but the Nissan Versa sells more on economy than anything else. I have a friend named Tony who's a pilot who drives a Nissan Versa, but he bought new for like 12 grand, and it still has windy windows, and it's a 2016. He got it because he flies all the time and has to drive into JFK every other day. He's like, look, I want a reliable car, I want a new car, but it's going to get beat up, Nissan Versa. And even if the Micra were available, I don't think he would have bought it. Well, I can get more car for this. And he's right. In a place like the US, where the roads aren't as windy, super minis only make sense within cities. So to understand the Nissan Micra, I have to see it through Kiwi eyes. So when you look at a Nissan Micra through the context of New Zealand, it starts to become very charming, like in a freaks and geeks kind of way. This is the kind of car where, if it were a person, your first instinct would be to shelter it from the world, because Jim has a good heart, but he's also kind of naive. Like the kind of person who goes online, sees the letters BBC, and thinks they're actually talking about British television. It's a car that seems to exude a certain kind of innocence. Because you're a teenager, and you just got your license. And your parents want to shut you up, but they don't want to spend a whole lot of money on you. So here you go. Pick up your sister from cheerleading practice. Blast OMC along the coastline. Drive barefoot. Eat 3 beach tacos and take a shit without checking which bathroom it is. Navigate the dairy while you're crossfaded on edibles and tui. Go to a festival because you saw it in the distance and you're headed that way anyway. Climb up to your roof because that's where you left your beer. Wave to a cop while you're up there and the cop smiles and waves back. You're 17. Life is forever. You've got a Nissan Micra, and Dave Grohl still plays shows in Auckland. Oh, the check engine light is on again. She'll be right.
Well, if you're driving in New Zealand, you had better come correct. 'Cause when I drive, well, I get told, watch out for that motorhome and windy roads.
He's distracted. Boom.
Daddy!
Hey! You also get the best phone signal.
Why does he go through there and then he just goes all the way back to his own hole? Because he likes to go into the hiding.
Tahi!
Tahi! Call now!
Hey, Tahi!
Tahi! Wait! Tahi!
Hey, buddy!
Tahi!
He's too distracted. Look
Hey,
there!
Tahi!
Go now!
What's this
Tahi!
one?
Go now! Call him!
It's a bigger
Go!
stick!
Look! He
Whoa.
goes! Why did I crash to the He just nose booped right into it. Boom. He's like, my picture! Oh no, don't come near me. I don't want to get wet.